Hey there everyone, welcome to Corey's Datapad, where today we're going to be doing something that's not really in my wheelhouse typically. It's just something that kind of came up and I thought was interesting, so I thought I'd make a quick video about it. Earlier this week I did a video on the reintroduction of the Talortai species to new canon, including its first use in even Legends since it first came out in Forces of Corruption in 2006, which personally really excited me, but there was one more reference that I wanted to talk about in High Republic Rising Storm, which we talked about a little bit on TapCaf Transmissions. I'm not going to talk about any major plot points in this, so there shouldn't be any spoilers, but if you want to be on the safe side and you haven't read High Republic Rising Storm yet, then I recommend waiting until you have. Well, the Talortai Udi Dis brought in some pretty concrete elements of the Talortai to new canon. What we're talking about today is the use of the name Surik. Twice now, once in Rising Storm and once in a prior comic, Kevin Scott, who wrote both of those, used the phrase "by Surik's blade" as an expression used by the Jedi, and Surik is a reference to Mitra Surik, or the Jedi Exile, who's the player character in Knights of the Old Republic 2. Unlike with the Talortai, where we got an example of a character doing specific things, this doesn't come along with any confirmation of who exactly Mitra Surik is, or Surik. There hasn't been an official use of her first name yet. But much like with the name drops of other Sith Lords, the implication is that there is some connection between Surik in the new canon and Mitra Surik from Knights of the Old Republic 2, at least intending to be referencing the same character. Now, it's debatable what exactly it would mean to be the same character. Like, if someone named Mitra Surik shows up, but hasn't done any of the things that made them the Jedi Exile in Knights of the Old Republic 2, then it's arguably not even the same character. But there have been a few other references in the new canon to some of the events of KotOR 2. Again, I don't want to spoil anything that happens in the story, so I'm going to leave out any comparisons or potential references to other stuff here, but if you look at Rebels, for example, is probably the highest profile example, the planet Malachor gets name dropped a few times with the heavy implication that something terrible has happened there, and that it is filling a kind of similar role to what Malachor 5 did in Knights of the Old Republic 2 and in Legends. In Rebels, Kanan, Ezra, and Ahsoka go to Malachor, and Kanan says that it had been off limits to Jedi, and there were old legends about what had happened there. Rather than being the site of a battle between the Jedi and the Mandalorians like in Legends, it was instead the site of a fight between the Sith, who had established their own base on the planet, and the Jedi, and during the battle, a weapon that had been built on the planet, which was powered by a giant kyber crystal, petrifying everyone. So far, this is just visual dictionary material from The Force Awakens, and it hasn't really been expanded on in any direct story beyond just a source book. It's really just a quick reference, the by Surik's blade thing, that got me kind of excited when reading Rising Storm. So far from my reading, Kevin Scott seems to be really good at kind of putting in the kinds of references that Kevin J. Anderson or James Luceno were famous for putting into their Star Wars books, and kind of really reaching back and pulling in different elements from prior stories, which is always one of the reasons that I've really loved reading James Luceno's books within Legends, and I haven't read any of his canon books yet, but I assume he does the same thing there. So having another author that's willing to kind of reach out in that way, I think can lead to some fun stuff, and usually has with Luceno at least. Often it's just some extra payoff for people who have read some different books or comics, and a lot of the time it just makes me kind of want to go back and check out the thing that's being referenced, like when reading Darth Plagueis, I ended up wanting to go back and read Medstar some more, but this was just something I thought was cool that came up while I was reading it, so I thought I'd make a quick video about it. Hope you guys have enjoyed. That's probably going to be the last of my random thoughts on High Republic for a while. I've got a few more Legend-centric videos that I'm planning to release over the next week that I'm working on, but if you've enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like or subscribing for more. If there's other topics you'd like to see me cover on the channel, please leave them in the comments as well. Thanks for watching, hope to see you next time. Bye everyone.